happening.
How's it happening? Oh, we're good?
It has to be going.
We're in the haps. We're in the haps right now. Is how it goes. Okay, cool. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another fantastic orgasmic edition of No Bucks Given. It is episode number 74 right here on the Horny Goat YouTube channel and, of course, the Horny Goat Podcast Network, where you can listen to us on all your favorite podcasting devices. And, of course, I can tell JP's having a good evening. How you doing, J Pizzle?
I've got a lot to say.
It's only just begun.
God, no.
He's got a lot to say, but I don't know. But we're all questioning how he's going to say it.
Very slowly and broken up.
He's going to interrupt himself.
Don't interrupt me when I'm fucking talking, and then I'll get my shit out.
You're going to do it to your damn self because you're going to sit there, get halfway through a sentence, and then go off on something completely in the opposite direction of what you started.
Just saying.
We got quite a bit to talk about this evening, but we also want to give some love to the chat real quick. We got a lot of you guys in here this evening. We got Frank for the Harsh Truth. Go give him some love over on his channel. Always love interacting with Frank over there. We got Paul. We got Alpha. We got Jurgen joining us this fine evening. We do have quite a bit to go over. Real quick before we get into the whole kit and caboodle and the introductions and whatnot. Episode 73 was flagged down for copyright reasons. The WWE bastards. But good news is that it is up and running.
On the street corner.
What?
Anyway.
Just go.
It's back up and running, so make sure you check it out. But also check us out on all the audio platforms. Of course, you guys can hear. We got the usual crew here. We got Base, we got Heather, we got JP. How y'all doing this fine evening? For the audio listeners,
two thumbs up.
I did partake as well, but it hasn't hit me yet. I'm also drinking.
We're going to have a lot of retardation.
We're just a bunch of potheads is what we are.
I am doing well.
I am been doing well?
I am doing.
Oh, okay.
Don't get me fucking started.
I was clear.
I am doing well.
Who's well?
Okay.
We just needed to clarify because it did come out as I am being well.
Yeah, I thought you said I am being well.
Whatever.
We're off to a great start, folks.
Kind of.
If you can't fucking understand me, you'll figure it out. Just
how long we known each other?
If I'm saying I'm being well, you know what I'm saying.
Sure.
I always understand you because we're tag team champions.
I'm doing fantastic.
We'll see how those motor skills go a little later on.
My motor skills are fucking shot already, all right?
Heather, Basement, how you guys doing? Are you doing as been well of you?
Yeah, I was hoping to get Wendy's room painted today, but after last night, no, sleep was more important.
I didn't punch her in the vagina this time. Remember that story I told you guys? That was so good.
Oh, God.
Man, no wonder you guys don't paint. No wonder you don't paint rooms that often.
I accidentally punched Heather in the vagina once. It was funny.
How you doing, Basement?
I'm being well.
Holy shit! We're off to a fantastic start. We have a lot of other cool stuff too on the channel. If you guys haven't checked it out yet. From this past week, I'm actually going back because I forgot half the stuff that we did this week. We did, of course, another fun gaming night with Basement playing Elden Ring, which, man, I nearly pissed myself. That was a lot of fun. So make sure you guys go check that one out. And of course, the latest episode of HGGM mode is also up, so you guys can check those out as well. I think we're coming back tomorrow with the Marvel Roundtable. We're going to go back to.
We're going to a baseball game. The ball game starts at 5. They do have fireworks, but she won't be able to hang with them. So Wendy, not pointing at Heather. So we should be back probably about 9:30 ish.
Plenty of time to speed run it. So make sure you guys join us tomorrow for we'll be reviewing Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. If you guys want to check it out. What's up, Kratos? Also joining us in the Chizat as well. We're gonna divulge a little bit here because we had actually shout out to Frank for hitting me up and hitting all of us up about this late breaking development, this breaking story that.
Is that the music for the late breaking development? Sounds like a knockoff Mario theme.
I can't do that. You know the fucking ABC special report. They use that fucking.
More like CBD special report.
Sure, you ready for this? I'm ready to talk about this.
So
You can announce
shout out to Frank, Harsh Truth, who hit us up both on the chat and hit me up on the Twitter DMs that there was apparently a hazmat incident at the White House that's actually going on right.
Honor, don't sugarcoat it.
It's literally what the paper is calling it. The hazmat
Oh,
incident.
Well, at first,
Incident?
Yeah.
Biden fucking took a shit and it was anthrax? What?
So apparently, the incident at the White House has now been elevated with the U.S. Secret Service, Washington, D.C. Fire Department investigating a security incident after cocaine hydrochloride allegedly found near the White House.
I mean, it is called the White House, right?
Yeah.
God damn it.
Yeah.
I like your thinking. I don't give a fuck who it was. Biden should not be our president for this reason alone. He lets this shit come into.
I hope it was him.
And social media is going to have a fucking field day tomorrow.
Matter. So he is the person that hires the fucking people to fucking take care of shit.
Uh-huh.
So it's his fucking fault.
Yeah.
Yeah, but if you
It
have
absolutely is.
if you're running a massive company and one of your employees is found with fucking cocaine, is it your fault?
Yes,
To an extent, yeah.
I allowed it.
They could have snuck it in through their ass crack. It's not like you're a prison.
But he's
It's also
putting
the-
people. He has. This is a completely different animal. I'm telling you, because this is national security we're talking about.
No, I
There's
also heard that it was
cocaine.
near the White House. I don't
Yeah,
know.
that's what I'm trying to find the details about, like, because it looks like there's a lot of activity going on outside the White House. I don't know if it's in it or if it's outside the area.
Okay, well, if it's outside the area, it's Washington D.C. Fucking, it's just like
That's
any
just-
other fucking liberal city.
From what I read, it's in the park that's like right next to.
It doesn't.
the White House.
Again, it's Washington D.C., so it doesn't fucking matter.
I mean, chances are it's probably happening in the White House as well. You know how many fucking people that make a lot of money do cocaine? For fuck's sakes?
Biden comes out with white noise. What's going on? Oh, white nose, like covered in powder. What's going on here?
I saw that a senator or somebody that was invited to one of the celebratory dinners that they have admitted to doing cocaine in the White House.
We used to have a mayor that did crack. So
Well,
He moved.
Guess what fucking mayor he was? He's Washington, D.C. mayor. If it's happening outside the city,
Mhm.
okay, that's great. It's already happened.
yeah, and it says hazmat suits were seen leaving the West Wing, though.
Yes, I just saw Kratos pop
So
up in the
is it
chat. Sorry, I
cocaine
just-
or is it just the dust that Biden comes out?
It is. If it's outside the city,
powder form.
Washington. I'm telling you, keep interrupting me. Washington D.C. is nothing. It's just like any other liberal major city in.
Yeah, I was just there recently.
That's why there's
There's
cocaine there.
gonna be fucking drugs right across the street from
me.
a fucking important building because they don't give a fuck. They don't
The
care
rate of
about
crime
the
has gone up 10%, and then there's a 15% increase in homicides.
crime rate in Washington D.C. is almost worse than New York or Chicago, and it's not as big. But if it's inside the White House, that is Biden's responsibility. He puts people in charge
Mhm.
to make sure that everything is secure and there's no threats of, you know what I mean.
I just love what's going to be the hypocrisy of the situation, where even if it is found to be in the White House, nothing will come of it. If it was
No.
any other president, well, not any other, the last one, he would have been fucking drawn and quartered and killed in the street.
If it was a certain Oompa
This is-
Loompa, there'd be a problem.
This is where I was going with this. What Basement just said. This will get swept under the rug. And
Literally.
the fucking Biden could probably do a line of coke right there during his fucking inauguration speech.
Yeah, it's
and
probably him.
it fucking happened to him.
Well, he already walks around aimlessly. So nothing's really good coming
Instead
from
of
him. What's
Girls
up,
Gone
Casey?
Wild, it's white. It's instead of Girls Gone Wild, it's what's up? It's the White House unbidened.
Be a great. That'd be a great fucking episode.
I would
For
just
sure.
like to have just follow him around for a couple days. And I feel like when there's glitches in GTA and you're just walking to the corner of a wall. I feel like that's what it would be.
I
Put a fucking GoPro on his head for a week.
I just you ever seen we've talked about this, you ever seen that movie Idiocracy?
Yeah,
I'm telling you,
We're getting
today's day and age, and I said this before, I feel like I'm living a parody of the world I used to live in.
Yes.
yeah.
Like,
hey, let's use Gatorade. It has electrolytes.
By the way,
Electrolytes ruin plants, dumbass.
warning to all those who are listening to this / watching this episode of No Bucks Given. It's going to be pretty heavily political.
We will talk about Money in the Bank, though.
Oh yeah, we'll get there, but just spoilers ahead for that.
If I offend anybody, I don't care.
I'm offended.
Would you say it then?
I don't care.
That's okay.
I know you. I know it's okay. But anyway, go ahead.
Well, I don't really have too much to add to this unless Connor, you have something.
No, I'm pretty much in the same boat with everybody else in here. That I think I can't wait personally to see social media have a fucking field day with this tomorrow.
Oh, God, yeah.
And you can tell what's going to happen. Even if it's found to be outside the White House, there's a sect of people that'll be like, it was all Biden's fault, no matter where cocaine is. Then if it's in the White House, there's going to be a sect of people that are just like, we don't care. It's okay. This happens. Stuff happens.
There because of Trump.
Yeah.
Why is Biden brushing his teeth with his finger?
Figure out a way to fucking blame the fucking Republicans for their fucking problem.
It's always them. It's
It
always
don't
them.
always be that.
They're just, it's fine. Gives them another thing to blame them for. I didn't do it. They did it. Well, you didn't do it because you don't do anything.
Well, we're a nation. I'm gonna say we're a nation. Whatever, fuck it. We're a nation of outrage. First and foremost, like get your pitchforks, motherfucker. Allegedly, there's cocaine.
Right? Do you know what I find fucking humorous about this administration? Biden said in one of his their debates is all he does is mean tweet. Donald Trump may have tweeted like once or twice every 4 or 5 days if he had something to say. Biden has always got something to fucking say on Twitter, which is awesome. But he's blaming the previous administration for using
not even
social
him.
media, and he's like, I'm not going to be that president, but yet here we are.
It's just a team of people that operate his fucking dead body.
Without with literal puppet masters. Without getting too much into it, the reason I don't like him is because that's what his whole platform was, to win. And while that's a part of any good debater is like, oh, I'm going to be better than the previous person because of X, Y, and Z.
It shouldn't be everything.
That was like 80, if not most, if not all of his entire platform was like, I'm not Trump. So right off the bat, you've lost my vote of confidence because you're comparing yourself to your predecessor, or
right.
Not good. That's gonna be default no matter what. But still,
if they swept fucking Hunter Biden's fucking crack cocaine pedophilic ass under the rug,
they're working on it.
There's like, don't look that way. Everything's good over here. Don't look that way. It's gonna be the same with this situation.
Just quick to. Oh, God.
I was just going to say, Frank just said, I don't think anybody's shocked at this news. Well, I'm just going to tell you, maybe 81 million people are, if it's true. But
wait,
if it's true.
I just heard that. I just heard there's actually a breaking piece of news in this development. Apparently, hold on. Kamala Harris is apparently running to the other side of the White House, dangling keys to distract everybody from what's going on.
Hey, look over here, guys. Look over here. I'm also every ethnicity. Charging around in her fucking Timbs. What a fucking clown.
How are you going there with this shit? Dangling.
Yeah, to distract everybody. Over here, guys. What's that? What was that? It's like fucking Metal Gear Solid. What was that noise?
Just that fucking dog from up.
What she looks like? She looks like a literal hyena.
Squirrel.
She definitely doesn't look like a squirrel.
She laughs like one and looks like one.
No, she doesn't laugh. She fucking cackles like a
Like that
Listen,
fucking
she's the perfect human, okay? She's the amalgamation of every society and ethnicity in one.
Yeah, because in every
her,
because that worked so well in every other scenario that everyone tried to fuck.
Her now boss a racist right to his face during the debates.
That's the past.
But look at the keys! Look at the keys! Look at the keys!
These keys are super interesting.
It's this whole administration. I did not like it from the start because, of course, as you said, Connor, comparing themselves to the last administration, saying what they're not gonna do, how they're gonna be better, and blah 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 blah. And then meanwhile, people forget Joe Biden has literally been in some form of politics since the 50s.
Yep.
He's had how long to fix some of this shit, but he's always decided to go the other direction?
A career politician.
He was going to flip the switch and then start doing what you wanted.
A career politician is a career criminal. That's the exact same fucking thing. And with him, like, you're right, his whole platform was based on look how bad we can make someone else look, and Trump was like, "I'll help you with that." But like, it's other than that, it's just these hot topic issues that they create. They create like small versions of civil unrest is what they create with race issues, riot issues, whatever it is. It's like we got to move to the next thing to take people off looking at what we're actually doing and be more concerned with the world falling apart around them.
Right.
Torture.
And Frank, I will correct you there. They did not care what they were voting for as long as it was not Donald Trump.
And I think that's what he's saying.
Yeah.
If he's not, he's fine.
They knew they were voting for not Donald Trump.
I literally think the people that voted for Joe Biden are exactly who he is. They have no idea what the fuck they're doing.
I think
Cocaine
they just. I think okay. First of all, 81 million votes. That's impossible. I'm sorry, it just didn't happen. I can tell you right now, it's not real. No way, no how. Because you know how you know. Ever since he got those votes and became in office, anything he does social media wise gets like no traction. Where did the 81 million people go?
Well,
how does it get traction for me? Because I respond to that shit. I'm like, you're a fucking nomad.
Yeah, but if he was Mr. Popular, like, holy shit, somebody would care.
Can I say that with peace and love, when I see JP's tweets responding to somebody, it brightens my day because number one, I'm reading the tweets in his voice in my head, and second of all, most importantly, it's something that I would just be like, what? Like I look at the original tweet and I'd be like, whatever, and then but no, JP decides to take the time out of his day to make whatever comment it is where it's like. My favorite is when you're like, I don't care. Then why?
It's infuriating. He goes for like a paragraph, and then the last like, it's whatever. I don't care. If you didn't care, you wouldn't do what you're doing.
You first need to spend a year living with him because it's expensive fucking out. He comes storming out of the office and said, "I had this motherfucker telling me today."
Look, I can't help it. If I see something. And I know it's like people arguing about fucking fact about fucking.
It's grumpy old men. That's what it is.
Bret Hart and Stone Cold or whatever. The feud between Roman. You know what's going on right now?
Yeah, but you don't care.
Onto it, and they're like, "Well, that doesn't make sense. Why would they pin Roman?"
Because he needs to be.
The fuck not. Something needed to. We'll get into it. That's just an example. And then they're like, "Oh, it was stupid." Well, no shit. You would think it was stupid because your favorite.
No, I get.
You would think it was stupid. I don't care. Gets up, stomps away from the computer. His actions speak the exact opposite of his words.
That's where it gets me.
Trolling somebody because they just don't want. They already made their mind up. I just like fucking getting them all riled up. And I do like some of them do respond. Well, then why did you? Because I had nothing better to do with the rest of my life. Just the way I am. I'm trying to make Twitter funny.
No, it is. Believe me, as an outsider reading your tweets, it is.
I look, I do that shit to try to be funny, but people, you can't be funny anymore at all. Yeah, some of the shit that I say isn't funny, but it's like
no, I just love how, and I agree with most of your points too. Is like I'll read the thread, but then just the very end, like I don't care. So you just spent what I'm assuming at least 4 hours, on this conversation.
Have you seen some of the conversations we have that they go in circles?
Yes, I've seen them all.
Because I'll make a point, and then somebody will make a point, and then they go, but that why? And then I said, just
there was one.
Read my initial response then.
There was one where you just said no. Like there was nothing. You didn't give any backup. You didn't give any cred. You look. It was something wrestling related. Where it was just like oh, so and so. You're like no.
Oh yeah. There was one. Do you want MJF to be world champion? No.
But you at least
didn't ask for a
right. No,
asked yes or no.
To your credit, you did no. Period.
Yes or no. You don't need a fucking explanation from me. I don't like MJF. I don't think he.
Yeah, I don't care.
No, I don't care.
I don't care, but I need it.
That's the part. Well, your blood pressure seems to indicate otherwise.
I don't care.
No.
I don't care. Anyway, moving on. I don't care. Moving on. Fucking hell, that was great.
Tonight, I guarantee it.
Well, since we're on the Biden bandwagon, we might as well talk about. Good night, everybody. We might as well talk about a little bit more of Supreme Court shenanigans. So the first one, I'll start with the smaller one first, which was the forgiveness of student loan.
Okay, I'm just going to tell you right now, that's the end of the world. The world is ending. You said this is a small one? My God.
Well, compared to the other.
Which one? Which one is that one? Affirmative action?
We'll get there.
Oh, that one ended the world second time, or the first time, actually, because I think that one was voted on. I understand, Frank. Or Alpha, or whoever fucking put this. Frank and Alpha have the same fucking icon.
They're just
Really?
the same.
What?
Just
Frank's is his logo. Alpha's is a fucking like the Grim Reaper.
I'm sorry. I was just reading.
Yeah, stop focusing on that and get to your original point there
What was my original point?
about student loan being canceled.
Vote for us for the best show on YouTube, ladies and gentlemen.
The smaller of the two, if you read what's going on, what I see, the world is ending because, oh my God, they've taken away student loan forgiveness.
Here's the article that I got here. By a vote of 6-3, the justices ruled that the Biden administration overstepped its authority last year when it announced that it would cancel up to $400 billion in student loans. The Biden administration had said that as many as 43 million Americans would have benefited from the loan forgiveness program. Almost half of those borrowers would have had all of their student loans forgiven. And it goes on to saying like why they made the decision, but it said when Biden administration announced the program in August of 2022, student loan repayments had already been on hold for over 2 years. Suspended both repayments and the accrual of interest on federal student loans at the start of COVID. Relied on the HEROES Act, a law passed in the wake of September 11th attacks that gives the Secretary of Education the power to respond to a national emergency by waiving or modifying any statutory or regulatory provisions governing the student loan programs so that borrowers are not worse off financially because of the emergency. So what?
We've talked a lot about this since it was first introduced by the Biden administration. The first question I think we all had is, where are you getting that money from?
Yeah, exactly.
Well, apparently everybody thinks that came from the previous fucking budget.
Yeah, we'll just get it out of the fucking stratosphere.
Fucking budget, then why in the fuck would they?
I can barely balance my own fucking checkbook.
In my honest opinion, like
it's so dumb the way it is here. It makes no sense. Anyway,
you don't introduce a change retroactive.
You can't.
It doesn't work because what you're trying to do is it's like, okay, so if someone in the past made a decision to go to school, you realize that decision a lot of people have to make consciously thinking about whether they want to go in debt, which would change the outcome of their life. And they decided not to go in debt. And all of a sudden, the people that did were like, oh, here's your forgiveness for making a mistake. You can't do retroactive. If you want to get rid of student debt, start now. Make fucking university and college affordable.
That's where I was just waiting for you to. Are you done? Or,
yeah, go for it.
I have a bit more to add on to this once you're done.
Well, here's what I want to say to all of America, all fucking 8 people watching us, whatever. How many of your people are watching us?
It says 5 right now.
Going down.
Education isn't free, all right?
Yes. Yep.
College education isn't free. Do I wish it would be? It's not. Guess what? Boo, you got to make it. It's like, so whenever somebody talks about fucking loan forgiveness, you can't just include one thing and not another. If you're going to do it for one, you got to do it for all. You can't. And like Basement said, where are you going to come up with this money? And the reason I did say, well, that's what they always put in the previous budget. They don't do that. They don't say, well, we got money for this.
No,
that's
they just don't have extra money hanging around. You're going to have to take it out of another program that the government has.
And I'm not saying that it shouldn't be forgiven. I wish it would be. I wish they would.
The thing is, if you're going to do forgiveness for student loan, average out the amount that you're forgiving, and then you have to give that amount to all the people that aren't in debt because they did pay off their student loans, or they like, you can't just pick and choose. This is where like the whole thing that happened here, like, the fucking during COVID, where they were just giving people money because they qualified for some arbitrary thing. It was fucking horseshit. It didn't make any. It was governed terribly, and you can't treat a population the way that they treated it during that time.
It's called these congressmen put in these laws, and then they throw something in for themselves. It's an earmark so that they get money. I literally know that some of this what is this? The Inflation Reduction Act fucking bullshit. 600 billion of that went to Ukraine.
Oh yeah, and then it went from Ukraine to several different people.
Not only is the Inflation Reduction Act
making more inflation,
causing more inflation, we're giving money to other countries in bills that are meant to help our country. They always do this. They put this and a little bit of that, and then they put this in here, and then this is the problem with the way things are going. It does not make any fucking sense.
Well, giving money to another country.
If you're gonna vote on a bill, vote on one bill. Don't throw something in there for fucking everybody. Don't be throwing money in there that's supposed to help Americans and send it to another fucking country. Because what good is that fucking? They're not gonna fucking pay us back.
Man, part of it's going to that country. Part of it's going to your own country's higher ups. That's exactly what it is. It's fucking a way to make money by also looking like fucking Robin Hood.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, Heather, you want to say something?
Yeah, to earmark off of this. This whole shit This whole shit would not even be a thing if Biden him fucking self didn't create a certain law back in 1979, I think it was. Tell you how long he's been in this kind of a position, people.
Well, definitely hasn't been president, but he was a fucking senator. Go ahead. Sorry.
He made it so that everybody, no matter what their standing was, whether they were poor, middle class, upper class, did not matter, could get student loans so that they could go to college. And then also made it so that these student loans could not be cleared by bankruptcy court. So these people are literally stuck with these loans, no matter what.
Yeah.
And this is his own design.
Yeah, you know what that design does? What they did is they created the ability for anybody to get student loans, and then for pretty much every job out there to have requirements for you to take student loans to get said fucking degree to work in a job that doesn't need it. So if you basically created a way to make money, and you made money off people you were putting in debt, and you put them in debt and then you make them bankrupt? That's fucking horseshit. It's a broken system. It was broken from the get-go, but you know what? If you're only alive or in office for 30, 40 years, you're benefiting from that, then you're out and it's somebody else's problem.
Yes. But also on top of that, you are making it so that these schools and these banks can do extremely high tuition rates and extremely predatory rates for those loans.
Well, the idea behind it was once you get out of school, you'll have this degree, you'll get the job that pays the big money. And the world changed, and it was like, oh, you'll get that degree. Guess what? Welcome to Arby's.
I mean, back to the Supreme Court. I'm just sick and tired of fucking people blaming the Supreme Court for making a decision.
It's the people that have student loans that want money. They're going to get those people irate because they floated the idea of getting rid of that huge debt.
So I had this conversation this weekend. Somebody came in. I had to work this weekend. I went and visited a unit. A spouse came in. She's from Minnesota, Minneapolis. She came in. She sat down at my desk because she had a question for me, and I answered all of her questions. And she actually brought up, because that day that decision was made that they weren't canceling student debt. And she asked me the question, so what do you think about what happened today? I looked at her and I said, it's their fault. They shouldn't have got a loan.
Well, it's 100% what I expected to happen.
Yeah, pretty much the same.
I don't think, and this is where it really pisses me off, because I just got into an argument about this shit with somebody about how many Supreme Court justices we have, and the vote, and the major vote. He said something about supermajority. Supermajorities never work. Okay, supermajorities never work. It's no different than a majority. Congress or Senate, if you vote, you have to have 60% of the fucking vote or something to that effect per the Constitution for a law to pass. You just have to have the majority in Congress. It could be 1 or it could be 40. Whatever vote is taken, that's either law or it's not. If you don't fucking like that, I don't know what to fucking tell you. I am so fucking sorry that our country has to elect Supreme Court justices who are they can't even fucking clap at the State of the Union address because they have to
be unbiased.
Because of what they are as an entity. They enforce the law. They do not make the law. That's what Congress and the Senate are for. They make and pass those bills, not Supreme Court. So when they take and overturn a decision that was made in a case, or they stick with the agreement on the case that's brought, you get what I'm saying? You can't fucking complain about that, because now it becomes a political thing, which the Supreme Court is not political. They are 9 judges that sit there, discuss, and make a decision.
Well, this is why you get the decisions that aren't always what the vocal minority socially want, where the outrage comes from, right? Because there's like the vocal minority that's all you hear. The fact that most people don't. The idea of this is detrimental to their daily life. Paying off someone else's debt, because that's exactly what you'll be doing.
Yes.
It is not going to come out of nowhere. It's not going to come from another program. They'll raise taxes. They'll take it from you in some way.
They have to raise taxes. They can't take the money from another pot because then we'll have to borrow another $400 trillion to pay off all these debts. Student loans, whatever. Because once you start telling you, once you start canceling student debt loans, people are like, what about my house loan? What about my mortgage? What about my car? So everything's just going to be fucking free. There's going to be no fucking money, and nobody and everybody's going to be the same.
If you want to be
who you are, you're going to be the same person. That's the way Russia did. That's communism.
If you want to be irate as a U.S. citizen for that has student loan that didn't get it repaid, be irate at the U.S. giving all their money to fucking Ukraine. That's money that could have gone to that. There was a choice made. They'd rather give it to Ukraine. Why? Does Ukraine fucking help you in any way as a U.S. citizen? No. It's political posturing, and it's a way to get that money back in their own pockets.
I thought it meant they were giving me a crane.
You get Ukraine.
It's fucking Ukraine, man. I'm telling you.
You get a crane, and you get a crane.
I mean, I cannot speak on these things. Tuesday through Thursday, 0700 to 1730, which is 7 a.m. to 5:30.
What's your shows?
Tuesday through Friday, and they aren't shows.
I said, what's your social?
I can't speak on those. After, I will say whatever the fuck I want, and they can't do anything to me. But I will tell you what, I read during the day, and there's so many things that I want to fucking say, but I don't. I wish people would just, I get it. Everybody's struggling right now. It's not just those people that are on those student debt loans. I'm struggling. I fear that I'm not going to have food to put on my table for my kid or my family. Everybody's going through it. You aren't the fucking only ones.
But I think there's a lot of people that, in all honesty, and I see this every day while I'm working, a lot of people that can't seem to see past themselves.
Yeah.
And they don't want to understand. They just want to be angry.
Yeah.
Or they just want to be fighting against something. It's educate yourself and realize why things are happening. It might not be the thing you want to hear, but you have to live in a real world, and it's not about you. Nobody gives a fucking shit about you. So educate yourself and realize that the world's not about you. And when certain things pass and certain things change and certain things are made, they're not made for you. You might benefit every now and then, but you'll most likely be fucking suffering because of it.
Right.
So to add to the help add to this fire that we're talking about the Supreme Court, that wasn't the only thing they voted on recently.
Good for them. I agree with both of their fucking decisions, and I don't fucking care.
I was just gonna say I want to make sure I have the
affirmative action.
Yeah, hold on. All right, here we go. So, Supreme Court is ruling restricting the use of race as a factor in college admissions. They voted this on Thursday in cases involving whether public or private colleges and university can continue to use race as one of the factors amongst many in student admissions. A little more than half Americans, 52%, approve of the U.S. Supreme Court decision on restricting the use of race as a factor in college admissions, while 32% disapprove and 16% say they don't know. So
why is color of skin even considered? This is so ridiculous.
So, during a time
I know.
In like the 80s, 70s, 60s, it was necessary for them to.
It was necessary for workplaces because a lot of workplaces would turn away people of a certain ethnicity.
Colleges too.
Yeah, college diversity was a very big.
You had to.
When race relations were in the gutter and everybody was fucking 100% racist.
Once that went away, it wasn't needed anymore.
I'd say since the 80s, 90s, there was no point to this.
90s really when it went away. But I'm not going to sit here and say that it wasn't needed when it first happened. But it was not needed anymore.
I feel like now it's actually working in reverse, where it's actually more racist to enact it than it is to
you know
not
it's funny.
have it.
One thing I was going to throw out there as part of this conversation was I don't know if you guys saw it, but apparently Rob Schneider did like a new stand-up special where I haven't seen it yet. I don't know if it's out yet, but it's apparently a big thing on like anti-wokeness. And one of the jokes that blew up online that I actually thought was really damn funny. He's like, I can't remember what airline it was, but he's like, an airline just recently came out and said that with their new wave of pilots they're going to be hiring, the number one thing they're looking for is diversity. And you hear like people like mildly clap. He's like, you mean not the best fucking pilots for the job?
They should just hire all blind people.
He's like, not the people who has the experience, or just that's okay.
Real well. My point is, and I don't think it is going in reverse. I think they're trying to get rid of it.
No, I'm saying to enact affirmative action today would be racist.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I thought you were going the other way.
No.
My thing is, I don't think that race should be a reason somebody gets into a school or not. Like Rob Schneider just told us. Like Connor just told us with that joke.
There we go.
He's right. Why not just why just not accept the best applicant?
Well, that's the other problem too, is like when it comes down to applying for things, especially in anything in life, it's not necessarily like the best applicant. What statistically, that can be fucking altered too. Like, there's really no way to do it without getting rid of any form of like leg up or cheating.
I think everybody should experience college, but
I'm a proponent for college being free.
I am a proponent too. The problem is it's not.
Not in the U.S. It's more expensive too in the U.S. than even it is here.
Yeah, it is.
It ain't cheap here, but it's not fucking life destroying. I feel like everything in the U.S. is made for you to be in debt.
Yes,
Like you get sick in debt. Fucking no matter what happens.
Yep.
So the major like Harvard, this is a lot of Ivy League schools.
Well, they're super
I think
expensive.
what this affirmative action was made for.
Oh yeah,
because there's legacy admissions, right? That's where I find, and I do agree, if you're going to get rid of this, you have to get rid of legacy admissions.
Yeah, that's just horseshit.
Based on
Nepotism.
based on your merit, or based on your standing, or based on whether or not you had your great whore aunt go to that fucking school.
It should be you know how people get like grants to go to school because they've applied for them and they've done something outstanding in a field or like athletics, or they're like a super genius but from a poor neighborhood or something. That I get get them into fucking school.
There was the girl, one of the WNBA players fucking came out and fucking said, with this decision that the affirmative action and the canceling student debt, she said, and I wish I could find it, she said that she's sick by this country. We don't take care of people.
No, you don't, and neither do we.
But the point is she got a free fucking college education because she got a scholarship to go to school. Didn't have to pay a fucking dime. She's making more money.
That's WNBA. I don't know.
Where she could probably pay for somebody's fucking schooling.
As a WNBA star, I don't think so.
You get what I'm saying, but they're endorsements. They do get endorsements. I don't know how big they are.
Have you ever seen a WNBA star with a fucking endorsement?
Yes.
There's like
Neither
3 of them.
Damn it.
Taurasi was one. Sue Bird was another.
It's
Lisa Leslie.
It's nowhere near, man.
What's it
But
like?
I'm telling you, Lisa Leslie is a multimillionaire because of the endorsements she got being associated with.
But she might have said she's sick from what she sees, not her own experience.
My point is, she has no room to talk.
I feel like you can speak on something even if it's not your own experience.
But don't say that you can speak on something, but then turn around and say what she said. She said it like she's in this fucking
In the trenches.
like me.
Well,
People like me statement. It's like, good God, man, when is this gonna stop?
well, I mean, okay, so speaking to the actual affirmative action thing, I actually saw it. I've seen it in my workplace over the last 5 to 10 years. People that are trying to hit like a quota, because I believe how it works is there is like a business bureau that will gauge your business, no matter what it is, off of how inclusive it is. Therefore, they will favor candidates for a job that fit certain criteria that they need, so that they get more leniency or whatever, the more better business rating or whatever the fuck it is. That is in itself affirmative action, and in itself racist.
So
And
in the
sexist,
90s,
really.
in the 80s, 90s, and I think a little bit in the early 2000s, that's why like diversity was such a big thing for colleges across the board. I mean,
Look at the movie industry.
It wasn't just it wasn't just it wasn't just for that reason. Sometimes depending on the college and what they were aiming for, sometimes they would either get like massive tax breaks or a bonus grant or whatever have you for whatever reason. So that's why, because I just remember like that being a big thing when I was prepping to go to college that I'd never finished. And that was a big thing that like a lot of people like, oh, without saying it's like, oh, you're this ethnicity, so you'll have a better shot of getting in. Yeah, basically, like without saying it, but yeah.
But I don't know if it was, it might have been Alpha that shared it, but like why these companies like Bud Light and all them are moving forward with this woke campaign of having like trans everything, gay everything, hooray for women. It's due to that reason, where there's like a huge company that owns like, I think they're invested in like approving a rating for your business, which will kind of enact who's going to invest in you. That company basically has a category for LGBTQ plus and all the races representation. That's why you were seeing, even if like companies like Bud Light, or what was the other one that fell flat in their face for like representation. That's why we're seeing them still going with it no matter what. Because it's worth more to them to fail now so that they get investors in the future and hit that like criteria they need.
Exactly.
Which is super racist.
It's basically, affirmative action is the Rooney Rule in football. Essentially, it's the same thing. Colleges have to accept a certain number of black people, people of color.
So the
Rooney Rule is teams have to interview a certain number of black coaches.
Yep.
I mean, the only difference is they don't have to hire them.
Right.
No, which
is the major difference, I guess.
I don't mind. I like the whole Rooney Rule, but they're taking these. When it comes to the Rooney Rule, where I get upset is black coaches and just is what this Rooney Rule was put in place for. It wasn't just put in place because not enough African Americans. That's the way they worded it when it first came out. Not enough African Americans are getting an opportunity to coach.
They're like 80% of the fucking player base, but whatever.
Right. Yes, but that doesn't mean they know how to fucking coach a goddamn.
No, I'm just saying, like, you can't enact it one place and forget it doesn't. Equality doesn't exist in the other place.
Exactly.
So, but there's a head coach from the Miami Dolphins. I think this is where this came about again this year. Last year is when this happened, and he sued
Oh,
the team because they didn't hire or didn't. It was the New York Giants, and they hired somebody else, and
wasn't that Todd Bowles?
yes, and he didn't even get interviewed for the fucking job. Well, he said he didn't. It's like, yes, they say that they have to interview, but I can tell you right now, yeah, we're gonna do this, but we're not fucking hiring you. Which is why he sued the NFL. He ended up losing his case, but that's where this is going. That's where this whole fucking thing is going. That's they're trying, and the Rooney Rule is different than affirmative action to a sense.
Well, the thing is, you can't fight back from someone getting hired over you because they had to tick a box for for affirmative action. And if I essentially lose my opportunity, even if I'm the better candidate, I can't say anything because of some arbitrary rule to me, it's the exact opposite of the way our world wants to move.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. And
So
it's more racist than it is actually for civil rights, because you're forcing these poor kids into a college that they may not be mentally prepared to handle.
Because Harvard and Yale or them Ivy League schools are no fucking joke.
The one thing though, like, it's so weird because that idea of Ivy League schools doesn't exist anywhere but in the U.S. It's not like a global thing.
No, and I get it. I'm not disagreeing with you, but it's like Britain, like Harvard especially, is the Oxford of England. It's
just like I don't think the distinction means as much anywhere else in the world as it means in America for like class system of who went where and how they went there. I look at Ivy League schools as being born with the silver spoon, probably smart, but that's the only way you get there.
Correct.
Yeah.
So it's like double privileged.
Right.
Yeah. So fuck them.
But this is why I think they need to allow student loan debt to be taken care of and absolved in bankruptcy court, because then it'll teach colleges to keep tuitions low enough to be affordable, and banks to stop giving out predatory loans.
Well, that's against what they want. So it's never gonna happen. Someone's gotta feed these fucking super rich cunts.
Nancy Pelosi and her two.
I love how, like, if you equate it to anything, it's like
Nancy Pelosi. She did come out and say that Joe Biden cannot cancel school.
His position does not hold that power.
And yet, those people that follow her like a fucking
shit,
fucking rat playing the fucking piccolo with the guy playing the piccolo. What's the name?
Pied Piper.
The Pied Piper.
Playing the piccolo.
Following her around like the Pied fucking Piper.
Listen, I think it's
people are still on there going, well, they canceled my student.
I mean, listen, even the idea of Biden be like, oh, we're gonna forgive all the student loans. I mean, he'd have to be smoking crack.
It's cocaine, sir. That's absolutely ridiculous. But like, the way I look at it is like, how would you feel about someone fucking finding like someone in poverty, starving, and stealing half of the meal they managed to scrape together? Because that's exactly what that world is that you're looking at. Speaking
of stealing money, let's talk Money in the Bank.
Oh, God, I have to take a pee.
I had no other way to segue out of that.
I was gonna show something on screen, but I don't want to.
Oh yeah,
because
that might cause a problem.
All right, so let me just go off on a little tangent first before we get into this about the whole fucking copyright thing.
So you should be all right with that.
Yeah, you should be fine. We'll see how it works tomorrow. So just frustrating YouTube shenanigans bullshit. So episode 73 of No Bucks Given got copywritten striked stricken, whatever, by WWE over the GIF that Basement used, which was the CNN GIF of Trump tackling down. It's Vince, but they put CNN's logo on Vince's face. And he used it for 2 minutes, and they copyrighted it for like 10 seconds of those 2 minutes. I'm like, what the fuck? Anyway, it just goes to show you the friggin' process. That's actually the second time the WWE is copywritten that struck this channel for bullshit reasons. One of them was for HGGM for an arena.
Yeah.
I'm like, what? It's so stupid. Anyway, Money in the Bank was pretty fucking solid.
It was very good. I enjoyed the shit out of it.
Enjoyed the shit out of it.
I did. It's one of the best wrestling. It's better than WrestleMania.
Yeah, it was better than this year's WrestleMania.
Yeah. What?
The way
yeah.
was better than WrestleMania.
It had a better pace to it too, I feel.
I think for me the only low was Cody Dom. Other than that.
So if you're watching WWE today, they are really only doing one storyline. That's it. There is no other storyline. They might have a little. I think they're trying to make, and this is how much bigger Roman Reigns is than everybody else right now. Trish Stratus and Becky Lynch are the women's main story in WWE, right?
Wait, what?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Say that one more time. I want to make sure I heard that right.
Trish Stratus and Becky Lynch's story is really the only storyline they are really pushing hard on the women's side.
Oh, on the women's side. Okay, yeah.
Yes, but this is why Roman Reigns, that is minuscule to this bloodline story right now. That storyline is like this fucking pay-per-view premium live event. Just this storyline with the bloodline is so fucking good. Everybody,
it's almost over.
Watching it, I think Triple H gets it.
So I think all right. Let's the event itself. I think all the right people won.
Yeah, would probably the LA Knight thing.
We'll get into each match. We'll get into each match. Because there's only 6 of them, I think.
So I'm torn on LA Knight. It's not that I don't think he couldn't. It's not that I don't like him. I like him just like everybody else does. I just think he needs something else before the briefcase.
I think Dominic should have fucking beat Cody. But anyway, so I don't. But anyway, go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I wasn't even gonna think LA Knight because honestly, I think he is at that point now that he doesn't even need the briefcase.
So if you've been paying attention on social media like I have, I was on the boat of having LA Knight win this match for the simple fact that he was getting over. Yes, he was getting the crowd reaction. But if you've paid attention when they did the first Money in the Bank and Edge was the winner, that's where I would put LA Knight in that category of his push needing to begin. That's how big his pops were getting. When Edge was winning it, Edge was getting huge pops, just like he was, that's my comparison.
What I noticed a lot about the Money in the Bank ladder match, I was telling this to you guys when we were rewatching when I was watching it with you. Every little thing he did got a reaction. It's one thing if like your favorite guy does something, but like there were moments where he was not doing much or just starting to climb the ladder and you could hear the crowd like rumbling and getting up. So it's not that I don't think I would have been ecstatic if LA Knight won the briefcase. And to Heather's point, though, I don't think he necessarily like needs it per se, but I would just like them to do like one thing before that, like a US title run or something.
You could also make an argument for the person that won it. Does he really need it?
Well, that was my next point. Was that with Priest, it seems to make sense because they're teasing the implosion of Judgment Day from what it looks like, and
They use, and this is what I hate about these fucking matches. Yes, they're trying to build a storyline, but they're making the Money in the Bank briefcase minuscule to the cash. Do you get what I'm saying?
The problem is, like, I was looking at like the members of this and the way the status or the state of WWE as it is. It's very like the Money in the Bank cash in is going to be very underwhelming because unless it happens on Roman, which it won't, do you really care? The other belt is brand new. It's held by someone I think deserves to hold it, and he's got people lined up to fight. So
yeah, that's
Damian
the
Priest, no matter who it was, would be kind of like a wet fart when it's cashed in.
No, I agree with you because
Yeah.
unless
Basement, not a wet fart. Because wet fart you will remember. A popcorn fart you will not.
A wet fart you got to clean up.
Yes, so you won't forget it.
well, they do.
Well, you don't want it. I think the reason behind that sentence.
But no, I get what you're saying.
I thought
I think
overall the event was fun, and I'm pretty sure we're all gonna fucking say there's one match that was not great. I didn't really care for any of the women's matches. The Money in the Bank had a nice finish, and the right person won, but it was not something I'd want to see again.
I got to give a lot of props to Logan Paul once again. I know that
Yes,
that specifically that last spot that he did with Ricochet where they almost died.
Mm-hmm.
So the way that him being in that match, I knew it was going to go the way it was going to go. It was going to be him climbing the ladder. What would have been really good is he not LA Knight, but I know why they did it. The finish of the match, I know why they did the finish. But if Logan Paul would have, grabbed that clip and just getting ready to take it off, and somebody pushed him, that was what he was there for. He was there to get more views for the network, which is Logan Paul is very popular. He has millions and millions and millions. He has more subscribers than WWE does.
That's
what I'm getting at with everybody. That's why WWE put him in this match.
No, I get it. Overall,
to win this match, LA, the way they finished this match was really good. And Connor made this note while we were watching, because we watched together last night.
Mm-hmm.
The finish to that match was so good, and believe it or not, it did not bury LA Knight.
No, and that's what I was trying to give you the heads up about, was that like he was the last person that you saw touch the briefcase brought for Damian Priest, which I don't think that was clearly intentional. But anyway.
He was the closest one to take it off other than Damian.
It's Triple H. Yeah. You know how he is with like actually moving forward with things. It's going to be like, we're going to take our time, but we'll hint towards it for a long time.
Triple H even said as far as LA Knight, and he's like, I know, he goes, trust me, I heard the crowd. He goes, the best is yet to come. He's on his way. We hear you loud and clear.
This was my only complaint with Triple H, even from NXT. How slow he is to kind of get on the train. And sometimes it works out. Sometimes it doesn't.
He waited too long?
Yeah. But overall,
the bloodline thing he's done really, it's kind of easy to do.
We'll get there when we get to the match.
But anything else that Triple H he does, even the DIY fucking storyline, he drug it on. And
that was partially due to injuries. But that's the thing. He waited too long, and everybody got fucking injured, and then it was fucked. It's like he'll push it to the absolute fucking nth degree, and then he'll push it one more time. And then by that time, you're either going to lose the audience, you're going to get fucking lightning in a jar, or shit's going to fall apart in other ways.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have it any other way. I still think Money in the Bank was very, very solid overall. I think all the right people won, in my opinion, all things considered. Would I have loved the LA Knight to win the briefcase? Of course, but I'm not complaining about Priest either. Yeah, everything else is pretty overall. I would say like it was like almost like a, I want to say B minus, but like a B show
I give it a
overall.
B.
If you can give it, yeah, you know what I mean. Like it wasn't wow, but it was. There were very little lulls.
I still think it was better than Money in the Bank.
Was it?
WrestleMania.
Was it now? What show were you watching?
I still think this show was better than WrestleMania.
This is
I'm
why
kinda
Money in the
retarded.
Bank needs to be at WrestleMania.
I agree.
Yes.
Agreed.
But
Never do it.
I do like before we go into the next one, I do like how they booked the show.
Yeah.
That's not what I was gonna say. It was along the lines. Oh, the order of matches was great.
Yep.
That's how they book the show.
The main event is the right main event. I heard people say, "Oh my God, Dominic versus Cody Rhodes is the main event," and if it was because probably Brock Lesnar was gonna interfere.
That's the whole shit of like, oh, it's a
Right?
triple
Why would
main
that-
event. Like, fuck right off.
Why would that
No,
ever
and I
be a
get
main
it,
event?
and I get it, but I'm like, no, you know what's, and I do like that they did not have the main event be a Money in the Bank because neither one deserved
No,
it.
Money
I like
in the
the-
Bank should never be a main event. It should be
Money in
on
the
a different
Bank-
card. But I
Agreed.
mean, you have two of them, and that's the problem. And it's like it's for a cash in. It's essentially kind of like the Rumble, but the Rumble
Yeah.
will main event.
Yep.
Well, that's okay. So there's in my mind, there's a fundamental difference because with Money in the Bank, it can happen anywhere, anytime, right? So ideally, you'd want to do them early on, so you can maybe just like they did them tonight, tease a cash in the middle of the show. Rumble is a clear like bang. You're leaving with like the impression of like, here's your fucking WrestleMania, and it's the instant start of like it's almost like when you know the Halloween shit's away. It's time to start planning for Christmas.
Well, I
Yeah.
keep saying this. This is why 4 to 5, maybe even 6 pay-per-views would work for, because Raw is essentially you're doing a premium live event on USA. When
There's just too much retreading of old
Yeah,
fucking
it's-
matches and rematches, and it gets boring as
do your
shit.
3-hour show, build every week, and then every 2 months or so, every month or so, you have a special show, like a Clash of the Champions like type deal, like back in the 80s. It would be so much better than the premium live events, or the pay-per-views would matter more.
I agree.
I just the pay-per-views or premium live events. It's just like watching another episode of fucking.
Well, it's like it's also like arbitrary when they're booking it because it's like, oh, we have to do ladder matches. Oh, we have to do Hell in a Cell matches. It's like, okay.
Yeah, they're all extreme rules.
But I'm not saying, but Money in the Bank was good, and it was really good. I enjoyed it. I did.
It was a fun show.
What was the next match?
Oh, we were just talking about the shows in general. We weren't going to go match by match.
Suck.
Second match was. Good Lord.
Was it Ronda Rousey and fucking?
Yeah, it was women's
Bianca?
tag titles.
Well, see, there's a couple of things in each match that were really good.
Well,
you
we
can
can
tell
only really
that
talk
Triple
about the
H
end.
was booking it. The heel turn.
The match was
Even though,
god awful.
though I'm not going to disagree, but I don't think the match was intended to be an actual match. I think what happened in that match is what they were going with.
And I feel
Well,
like you look at the actual like card or the actual booking for that match, and you know it's going to be terrible. So like sometimes in the pay-per-view, if they're going to have multiple matches, they're technically there for the finish, and you got to get through them quickly because they know they're giving their main time to the Money in the Bank ladder matches and the finale.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
I liked the swerve because I was not expecting the Ronda Rousey, Shayna Baszler to attack Ronda Rousey.
Yep, agreed.
Glad it happened though.
Well, there's been apparently Ronda's like given WWE a date and says like I want out by this point, and the one thing she wants to do on her way out.
Match, and that's going to be with Shayna Baszler, and that's going to be her out.
Do you think she's done at SummerSlam or she's done at Mania?
Yep.
I think she's done at SummerSlam.
They're going to do a Shayna Baszler Ronda Rousey match.
Because Ronda's been very vocal about like I want to put Shayna over as a thank you.
I'd really love for WWE to fucking fix its women's division. It's just like it's super unwatchable, man.
Well, I don't know. I think with Triple H doing what he did in the women's Money in the Bank, I think
the problem is just that. Let me rephrase. It's not just WWE.
No,
it's the women of the women's division that need to kind of get more focused back on.
If you're putting Trish
fucking sport,
if you're putting Trish into a goddamn Money in the Bank ladder match in 2023, that's. But they shouldn't have to rely on her.
But when you have a fucking YouTube star outperforming your whole fucking women's division, there's a problem.
She's 47.
She sucks. Trish sucks.
No, I'm talking about Trish. Which is Logan Paul was more fucking exciting than the entire women's division because they haven't built anything that means anything, and half the women are fucking trash. They're garbage. They are not good wrestlers.
I think Dylan Mulvaney should have fucking been in the Money.
We need to bring back Nia Jax. She's not like most girls, you know. Gunther Riddle IC title.
That was fun.
That was a really good.
Nice ending too.
Drew coming. Yeah, I was gonna say Drew coming back was probably the best.
Drew coming. Everybody saying, "Oh my God, he's mad at WWE. He doesn't want to wrestle for that." Shut the fuck up.
Like, oh, here comes Randy Orton. I'm like, close.
SummerSlam is going to be better than WrestleMania, booking wise. Immediately.
Money in the Bank was better.
Like, how do you do this? Like, I guess there was some turmoil back then with Vince going back or some shit. I don't give a shit about the politics. All I can say is you failed with WrestleMania. I'm glad that SummerSlam's looking pretty good.
Looking forward to Gunther and Drew at SummerSlam, presumably, what was you saw. Riddle match was all right. I thought the psychology was pretty solid, especially with the whole foot thing at the end. Foot fetish.
What match?
Gunther and Riddle.
Oh, yeah, it's a good match. Fucking Gunther can chop the shit out of people.
No kidding. Cody over Dom. I mean,
terrible.
Yeah.
The only reason I would have said to give Dom the win is if Brock fucked him over. That's it. But
this is gonna sound like I'm being a chauvinistic pig, but somebody needs to slap the fuck out of Rhea Ripley.
I will do it because she was my favorite thing about this match.
I just don't get it.
I'll get it.
I understand why they're doing it. The reason I say I don't get it is
I mean this accentuates the problem with the women's division.
I would care more about her if she wasn't associated with Dominic Mysterio.
But she's also getting into that realm that fucking Sasha Banks and all them did, where it's more about the likes I get on social media for being. It's more about the way I look physically than what I do in the ring.
Everybody loves what she's fucking doing, and I'm not seeing.
I don't care about the.
Oh, yeah.
The only thing I cared about was the way she looked. So.
Yep.
But you know the thing is she's
a beautiful woman, but
she can legitimately go in the ring. I don't care about her pairing with Dominic Mysterio. Yes, I accept that certain people like it and it gets over, so they'll continue to do it for a certain amount of time before they break away everything that means anything to Dominic Mysterio and he goes off into the fucking night because he's not going to be able to do anything with nobody.
I guarantee you, when Dominic Mysterio, when Judgment Day gets rid of Dominic Mysterio,
when Judgment Day comes for Dominic Mysterio,
this shit, we're just disbanding the group. Imagine what'll happen to him. He will just wither into
NXT.
The only thing I can think of what they'll do is they'll probably.
I would have fucking fired him after the fucking match he had with his dad.
Honestly, they'll probably put him back with his fucking dad, and they'll play out a storyline where they fight for retirement at Mania for his dad, and then he'll go back to Oblivion.
Then go home with your dad, and
both get retired immediately.
Yeah, exactly.
We
Can't
teach
imagine why JP was passed on for WWE's HR position that they had open. Anyway, women's Money in the Bank ladder match.
oh my god, you just turned that into a fucking
Cool ending.
What?
Terrible
That
match.
was-
Well, not terrible match. It was just okay, I guess.
which match?
Women's Money in the Bank.
It's great ending. I did.
Yeah,
like,
I like that
that was
ending a
very
lot.
creative. Very creative.
That's about it. That was all I really.
Yeah, good ending, but it's
wasn't
kind of
great.
what you expect from. And it's sad because like the women in this match, I consider Becky, Bailey, and Io Sky pretty good wrestlers. But then you have the rest, and then you have the inclusion of the rest. I think if you did like a triple threat ladder or something, that would have been much better.
Wait, Trish is 47?
I'm talking about the others.
Well,
Who were in that match.
so it should have only been 3 people in that match. Huh?
Well, the only
Honestly,
three people
yeah.
that can fucking wrestle.
I mean, Zelina Vega spent the first 5 minutes of that match literally trapped under one of the fucking ladders.
I just
Because
can't.
The ladder weighs more than she.
I just
does.
can't buy anything she does. She looks like a fucking mop in the ring with her fucking gigantic hair.
Moppy! Bring back Perry
I-
Saturn. There's your, yeah.
I didn't care for the match itself, but the ending was pretty good.
Yeah, I'm pretty much in the same boat as JP on that one.
Yeah.
Seth Rollins and Finn Balor for the world title.
It was all right. I
You
did
like-
like the Damian Priest thing.
Damian Priest coming out and sitting there.
Yep.
Whoever wins, I'm cashing the fuck in. This
Little
is
subtle
going to be the end of Judgment Day. And
Yep.
then what are you going to? And then that falling back into the Dominic thing.
Oh, they
now.
won't break up Dominic and fucking Rhea for the next fucking year. I can pretty much guarantee
Yeah,
it.
And if they
getting
do,
too much
and
reaction.
if they do, then you know why. I do not give a fuck about Rhea Ripley.
You know what? I wouldn't be surprised if they make Dominic what Stevie Richards was to Victoria in the early 2000s.
He's going to be
Yeah,
her
that's
manager,
exactly
basically,
what
the guy on
it
the
was.
outside.
Yeah, where like he's the guy who's going to take the bumps. I would not be surprised if they.
I mean, I
pull
don't
that.
mind it. You don't see it too often, where like the woman with the male kind of like, I guess,
The problem
Valet.
manager or valet.
that
Yeah.
is Rhea's a bigger badass than Dominic, so I don't know if that would work.
Well,
Well,
that's exactly
kind
the
of-
reason it would happen.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Because Stevie Richards at that time was the dorkiest
Yes,
of
fuck
It's the
dorky.
same reason like China was the enforcer for DX. Did she need to be? Fuck no. Did like it doesn't
Just-
work on paper, but
Well, I think they had the run where Rhea was in his corner. Now they're gonna have the run where he's in Rhea's corner. They'll go for the rest of the year with this, man, because like Heather said, it gets a reaction, and it's something for them to do, and it makes sense.
they're gonna want to transfer some of Dom's heat to Rhea.
Yeah.
That reaction that they're getting, what they don't realize is I really don't think people want to fucking see it.
I'd be surprised. There's some people that like that pairing, man. It's. I don't
There are
care for Dominic
people out there
Mysterio,
saying that-
but
There are people out there saying that Dom and Rhea need to get married in real life.
yeah, there's those people that are like, "Mommy,
Sure.
hold me," like fucking Dominic.
Except she's with Buddy Murphy. Buddy Murphy.
Buddy Murphy has been just fucking pounding some of the sexiest ass.
Right. He was with
Good
Alexa
job.
before.
Good job, Buddy Murphy.
Main event, the Civil War, Bloodline Civil War. I mean, I can't. That was
That was really good, yeah.
that was really good shit.
And it was slow, but it didn't matter really what wrestling was happening.
It was the longest match of the night. It was 32 minutes, and yeah, it was. That's your story time. Like, here's your this is your story match, and fuck, I mean, they really, especially the ending where I was semi shocked that Jay pinned Roman. Not that I thought that was shocked that the Usos won. I figured the Usos would go over, but I think we all were like, oh, Solo will just eat the pin on this one. But that's a bold statement to have Jay be the one to pin Roman for the first time in 3.5 years.
It was the absolute right decision.
Agreed. 100% agreed.
Because you show like, and I think we were talking about them, like it's the chink in Roman's armor, like him finally getting pinned.
You, like I've been saying for the last month and a half, you have got to start the fucking end of Roman.
Well, there it is.
this
And
this
it's apropos that it's his fucking family that does it.
dominable, like dominating Terminator guy. It's time to end the story. He has to start losing or starting to get chinks. And the first chink was
Oh, you don't want to say that too many times.
Solo losing, and then the second chink,
Okay.
it's snowballing on rolling.
I just caught what Basin was trying to get.
Like, you don't want to say that too many times.
Chink in the armor.
What's wrong with that?
I know you left out the armor part, and you were just like.
And then we got to worry about this C and this C and this C.
I'm sorry. Yeah, don't. Because motherfucker.
I'm kind of retarded.
I'm kind of retarded. So
You're tired.
yes, you got the chink in the armor. You need to have it. It's got to begin somewhere. Why not here? Just get it over at SummerSlam. It's got to end somewhere.
I do give WWE credit for trying to make the Money in the Bank pay-per-view feel as big as humanly possible. In terms of like, you had I thought the men's match overall, the men's ladder match was pretty fucking solid. You had Drew making a return, which was a huge pop. You had Cena coming in for a quick little moment with Grayson Waller, which was cute.
Much.
Yeah,
They really pumped in a lot of stuff, and then of course the main event.
There was multiple, like, there was progression to storylines. There was the birth of new storylines, and they even they birthed a new storyline off of the Money in the Bank win.
It's not really even a storyline. It's going to be
Doesn't matter.
Well, it's
like I said, there's really only two stories going on in WWE.
No, but they need those like side stories to like
but
flesh out.
I mean, but it's
they're starting some at least. But
well, I think Damian Priest and Finn Balor might be a story that lasts until SummerSlam.
That has potential.
Yeah, but it's
Io Sky and Bailey
till SummerSlam. This one will last till SummerSlam.
But it's good to see them building towards something.
I get that, but
for once.
Well, I guess
we'll see how things play out. But I just wanted to acknowledge the fact that like I could tell that WWE is trying to make this show as big as they possibly could, and kudos to them. And I hope I don't know you guys. I do hope London. I do hope London gets fucking.
It'll never happen.
Don.
I really disagree with you on that. I'm not saying it's going to happen immediately.
That I say that somebody made a very valid point. Now, am I against them going to London before everybody fucking throws a fit? No, I don't. Go by all means.
Go to London.
My point is WWE is their bulk of their fans, the most of their fans.
Yep.
Are in North America.
Okay, they're not going to have a problem filling up a stadium.
They're a U.S. North American based company, so they'll probably do all of their big pay-per-views in the United States or Canada.
The biggest problem for them doing WrestleMania in London is the time difference for viewership in North America.
Touche. You know what? I'll tell you right now, when it happens,
it's on Saturday and Sunday. So
well, when it happens in terms of what year, obviously WrestleMania 40 is already locked in. 41, I think, is rumored for Vegas. But
Minneapolis.
I was gonna say I did hear Minneapolis too. I think the last thing I'll just say about this wrestling thing, then we'll move on to something else. I think when WrestleMania happens in the UK, a lot of that is going to be based off of information and the failure / success of All In.
Well, I can see not only that, I can see WWE doing a lot more things in the UK. They need to pretty much condition their audience to watching off hours before they put their biggest show there. So I can see like a big push in the next 2 years to have multiple shows, like 2 shows, 3 shows a year in not necessarily London, but the UK. Yeah. Just to kind of get that groundwork there for people watching midday before they throw WrestleMania there.
Maybe like a SummerSlam or something else.
Mm-hmm.
Like a different Big Four. I could Survivor Series in the UK. That could be some good shit.
Just do that because nobody else cares about Survivor Series.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Hey, Survivor Series is one of my favorite of the big four.
It's been so terrible
It's
for so
either
long. Though.
that, or they could do Backlash after WrestleMania for UK or London.
I do in general. I love it when they go international because you
I love
can
the
see
fan
different
base.
like. What's that?
I love seeing the different fan bases.
Yeah, that's why I love Backlash. Puerto Rico fucking was so stoked for them on that
But
one.
it also allows them to kind of like elevate talent that wouldn't get that pop anywhere else, and then you can kind of once that's elevated and people see the pay-per-view where people were going crazy for fucking Damian Priest, then all of a sudden
Saudi
the star
Arabia?
rises. Oh,
Saudi
God.
Arabia, but the
Yeah,
others,
Saudi Arabia.
I'll take the others. Speaking
Speaking of not this,
speaking of international, speaking. I think I might just use that from now on. Speaking of not this. Okay, what the fuck is happening in Paris?
they're rioting, man, because a cop killed a kid.
Oh,
Now I saw the video of the.
All right, moving on.
I saw the video of what happened. So there was they stopped someone driving a yellow car. From my understanding, this could be wrong. From my understanding of what I read, the plates were false. So they stopped him. He was a 17-year-old or something in the car, and he was a multi-time offender of something. I don't know what it was. Anyways, the video shows the cops leaning on the car. One has a gun pointed at the child. The other one's speaking to them. I say kid. He's 17 years old. It's almost an adult. And mid talking to him, he starts to drive away from them while they're leaning on the car. And one of the cops shoots him and kills him. So it's time to burn the fucking country down.
Still talking about WrestleMania?
No.
Yep.
I just wanted to make one more point real quick. Because I had to piss.
Sorry, I like still talking about WrestleMania. Nope. Yes.
This was the final
I
match.
just want to make this one point. If WWE does go,
Yep.
it's only in response to what AEW did.
Well, I just said
that's what Connor said, but I think it's bigger than that. I don't think they're gonna. They'll use it as data, but they're probably gonna also dabble their fucking feet in there over the next couple of years to see the reaction to daytime numbers.
I think Heather made a good point about doing a different show, Basement too, about doing a different pay-per-view before Mania, so like a SummerSlam or Survivor Series, or even the Rumble.
I think they just need some numbers for their daytime audiences for viewership on this side, which is what they were taking from this last show. But yeah.
Anyway, France is burning.
I get it. I just wanted to point that out because I had stepped away. But go ahead.
France is burning.
The riots over in France.
Okay, let's talk about the riots in France because them are some dumb motherfuckers. Go ahead.
Well, the same thing happened in the U.S. So.
No, you are 100 a bunch of dumb fuckers here too. The problem is
it's their George
most
Floyd.
of them are on this call.
George Floyd, so they're copying us.
So
Yeah.
the weird thing is I from the reports I'm seeing, and I told you guys exactly what the I guess the inciting incident was, but a lot of the things I'm seeing on Twitter have to do with the fact that France has had so many new immigrants over the last X number of years, and they're kind of pointing the finger at that as being the reason that so many people are up in arms and where they got these arms from when you can't have a gun there.
Well, they're up in arms because they always surrender.
To themselves.
Yeah.
So I think there's a lot of criticism for the French and anybody there, the populace having so many firearms randomly.
Well, I read on this. I really didn't read this at all.
I love that sentence.
I paid attention. Listen. I paid attention to a little bit of it on Twitter, and all I seen was France's overtaken.
Yeah, by French people.
It's riots in response to a police shooting.
Got overthrown. That's what I get out of that.
In general.
So they can't handle what's happening, and there's a talk now of it, like the Prime Minister, I think, of France, calling it as he needs aid from outside sources because he can't handle his own population for
So he's
fighting
surrendering.
back. Well, you know,
No,
France.
he's asking us for help again.
It's like a
Yes.
national crisis or whatever, national
His
emergency.
only response to this was to sign on 50,000 more officers.
Well, he should.
Well, I've seen so many competing reports where it's like, oh, they wanted to abolish the police. Did France want to do this? I don't know. And then I also saw like the religious majority in France now is Muslim, so they're blaming Muslims. Except then the inciting incident was the cops killing, from my understanding, a black kid.
France is a socialistic democracy.
On that note, I'm going to piss. Continue.
So they do not believe in communism, but they want to have control over everybody. That's their government.
I just feel like
it's what a true democracy is. So we don't have a true democracy here in the United States. We have a constitutional republic.
There we go.
They vote. They don't have like your vote does count. But then again, it doesn't because there's millions of people. If you get what I'm saying, that's what the argument is with the constant. With our like when we vote here in the United States, my vote never counts. Well, it does, but I can understand your argument because of the large city, they don't do it by that. They over there, I think they have just one vote. It doesn't go by, well, this guy won this state, so he wins this.
no, because France is a lot smaller than fucking United States.
It's one whole, so that's their vote. That's how
France is basically like it. I equate it to looking at almost like a state instead of the United States. And I mean, this is kind of like the same response you saw in the states that had a lot of riots after the George Floyd thing. It just seems like people are so ready to just destroy everything. And I don't know enough to say if it's like half the reason is just to fucking steal shit, because that was 80% of the reason for the fucking riots that took place in the U.S. to get free shit and ruin businesses that were not owned by like Walmart.
Because of COVID.
The funny thing about the fucking those riots here in the States is it went to another state and then there was more riots. And then that's when it really fucking escalated was in Portland.
So I guess the smart thing for us to do, because obviously there's a lot of information, and because we live in different parts of the world than there, and I'm only getting really fed by Twitter. I know the inciting incident, and people are going to say, was it a justified shooting or not?
Who knows? It never is.
Well, you shouldn't kill someone, but if they're driving away at max speed while you're resting on their fucking car as a police officer, what do you think is good? I hate that we just, as a fucking complete populace, think there should be no repercussion for not obeying the law.
Exactly.
That's right.
What?
I yawned. I'm sorry, I was yawning. Oh, my eyes are on fire. This is what I have seen on Twitter every now and then. Whenever something like this happens, it doesn't matter if he was speeding away or not. They aren't justified in apprehending him.
Well, your own sister sat there with the Kyle Rittenhouse thing. Oh, he didn't have to shoot him dead. He could have shot him in the leg or something. So
I'm gonna
flying at his head.
These people are fucking stupid. Anybody that says in a high intensity, with like an intense situation, you're gonna be able to have the like level head to do the exact thing you should do if you were thinking about it for 20 minutes, sitting at home on your computer bitching. It's not the same. They're like, well, they could shut out the tires of a fucking moving car with a fucking submachine gun. Probably not. He's probably going to shoot the kid anyway. Maybe even tried to shoot at the tires and got the kid. The way I look at it is, if someone's disobeying the law and taking a 2,000-pound vehicle flying away from you, what if they drive right into 5 people, killing them? And then it'd be, well, why didn't the police take him out? You can't you can't just have everything.
You can't have your cake and eat it too.
No, there's always going to be that time where, but that didn't happen. No, because he was dead fucking 10 feet away from the cops.
Yeah. This is where I wish that this one course that this reporter had gone through with the police training programs was available to the public all across the fucking world, because I guarantee you people, with the situations that are put in front of you, your dumbass is going to be thinking completely fucking different.
And this is where like I want to go back to the conversation we had earlier where I'm like, no, everybody puts themselves first. People aren't able to put themselves in the shoes of somebody else and kind of realize that you can't be the perfect anything. And people are like, well, they shouldn't be a cop. Well, there's a ton of people that shouldn't be cops. There's a ton of people that shouldn't be working at fucking McDonald's. There's a ton of people that shouldn't be working any job because they're fucking useless.
There's a ton of people that shouldn't be collecting welfare, but yet here we are.
Yeah, so the argument of they shouldn't have that job is fucking horseshit, because what do you think you're going to get when you offer a certain salary range and only have certain things that you need to cross? You're not going to get fucking Superman in every fucking role.
Right. It's just like, so back to it's just like, if somebody forgets to put pickles on your fucking cheeseburger.
It's got those pickles today.
Or put pickles on your cheeseburger, whatever, and they didn't want them. Oh my God, they should be fucking fired.
Well, these are the people that go in there and fucking throw sandwiches at people, and they deserve to be killed right then and there. I'd shoot them dead. No pickles? Well, how about bullets, bitch?
It's Swiss cheese.
That's where our world has come to, though. People they become violent when something doesn't go their way.
They
Like
fly off.
Drive-through wanting chicken nuggets, and it's 6:30 in the morning.
So
Or a
I saw
football
it too with this. They're like, well, why didn't they just let the guy go? And the whole thing around it was like, oh, they could have just found out who he was from him. Apparently the car either was stolen or had fake plates, so they're not going to find him. And he's a multi-time offender, so that's exactly what they did.
Yeah.
And that was it for him. But like, to burn down the whole city for this, it's doing nobody any favors. And it just,
because now we're gonna have fucking somehow some United States. They're looking at the United States. If they can't handle the situation, they're gonna ask for help, like they do about every 25 to 30 years when something doesn't go their fucking
they're on
way.
the brink of declaring a state of emergency, because the answer to a cop killing a kid is bring in 40,000 cops. Like, if something's like, okay, it's gonna be fucking probably taken out of my meaning, but it's not that big of a deal.
It's not.
It unfortunately happens everywhere, all over the fucking world.
Yeah,
why aren't you burning down the city every time it happens?
It makes no sense. I don't know, man. And not just any time it happens. People just need to grow the fuck up. It's just silliness. That's why I love living in a small town.
Yeah.
We don't have that here.
So
we don't have these disagreements. Oh, you can't play with that rock. I'm gonna beat you up. I'm gonna go tell my mom.
Well, his name's Dwayne, but yeah.
You want pickles, bitch?
We don't do that shit around here. If I don't get pickles, if I do have pickles on my cheeseburger, I don't complain about it.
The thing is, I think the majority of people, I've been to McDonald's multiple times. Yes, there's a percentage of time you don't get what you want, but I've already left, and I can move past it.
Is this really where we're pivoting this conversation to?
Well, it's the same idea. Like, sometimes you just gotta accept that things happen, and accidents happen, and terrible things happen, and unfortunate events happen. You can't just find justice in every little fucking ounce of wrongdoing in the world.
I understand. You asked for no pickles, or you asked for, I want extra pickles. If you don't get them,
no. Okay, so there's a difference though. If they don't give you pickles, but they don't even give you a sandwich, so if you ask for no pickles and they give you a jar of pickles, then I'm going in, because that is premeditated bullshit.
Fuck is this? This is deliberate. This is a hate crime.
I find it silly that people get upset over it. I mean, yes, I get upset over it, but I'm not going to go back into the fucking store and complain about it.
If they give you a jar of pickles and no sandwich and no food, you just got a bunch. And it was not just pickles; it was baby dills. Okay, they're fucking hitting you with the baby pickles.
It's got like lettuce on top of it, like one piece of lettuce on the top of the jar.
You know, someone's just fucking with you at that point.
Yeah, like
listen,
ba-da-ba-ba-ba, not loving it. What?
I'm just saying. I'm one of those people. Ask Heather. I'll go and eat that.
I don't think you can ask Heather anything right now.
I would just walk into the restaurants.
I look at my food. Oh, there's pickles on there. I'll make a decision. I'll look at Heather and I'll be like, oh, they put pickles on it.
I'd walk into the restaurant and sit right across from the entrance.
Hold my jar.
She will then look at me and I said, "Are you gonna eat them?" I'm like, it depends on how I feel that day. That's a literal conversation when it comes to me getting fucking pickle. I don't throw a fit. Pickle. My point is, I'm saying these people fucking throwing a fit over something minuscule. Well, okay, so it's not minuscule.
I get like family members.
My basement said it happens everywhere.
This is where I see like family members, friends, and even it brought up in media for like a wrongdoing to be investigated. I get that. I don't get me, who lives on the other end of France, taking a fucking torch and burning down everything I see, because then I'm just a criminal and I should be shot.
Emotional damage.
That's how I feel. It's silly, man. It's silly.
I really want some pickles right now.
What makes you say that?
I cannot believe people complaining about. We've got other problems.
Yeah, don't complain about dead kids.
Yeah. Anyway, moving on to speaking of kids.
Well, you can, but Jesus Christ, you can't dwell on it. That's my point.
Speaking of kids, did you hear about the YouTube personality Miranda Sings? About her whole drama and her wonderful apology video that was, oh my God.
It might be the worst thing I've ever seen in my life.
Oh, so Miranda Sings was a YouTube personality, got popular, and apparently it rolled out recently that she's been accused of grooming her fans and having like inappropriate.
Like a ton of evidence
So
for it too.
Yeah.
Was she found guilty of said crime? It's
Not yet. But
I shouldn't even say it's a crime. Was she found guilty of said thing? Here?
So there's a bunch of evidence of her talking to like a 12-year-old or 13-year-old, and
inappropriately,
like
Fair
weird,
enough.
like very weirdly inappropriate.
Yeah. So she
that was that video you watched.
Oh, was she apologizing?
That was her apology.
Saying that I was wrongly accused of something. That's all I got out of it.
Well,
did she say that?
Yeah, she basically said that she was like, I was wrongfully accused, yet I wasn't.
Yeah. Sure, I sent those text messages. Yes, I'm a terrible person. Listen to this ukulele.
Oh, God. So she was... Okay, so got me get this straight. Here's the thing.
God damn it, you gotta fucking give me a warning.
I don't have to give you a warning for shit. You better have your fingers on that button.
Wait.
I'm kind of retarded.
There we go.
I am. This woman was accused. She did what she said she did, but she apologized.
I think you're missing the point here.
Wrongfully accused. That's what I got out of this video.
The point is the apology was a video she put on YouTube named High, where she played a ukulele fucking solo about pretty much doing what she's accused of.
Okay, right. And so, and I do want to point it because I watched it for like a minute and 10 seconds. I wanted to fucking throw myself out the window. She literally said, in one of her lines in this stupid fucking video was, I'm not allowed to, my people don't want me to say anything, but they
her
say
lawyers.
about me singing about it.
Yes.
So he's saying that's what I got out of it.
So instead of
literally-
listening to her lawyers and not saying anything about it, she's like, "Well, I found a loophole. I can sing about it." And she's talking about like a toxic like train of fans, but it's like, man, you're accused of fucking grooming kids. You might go to jail for a long time. And she's like, "Let me get my ukulele."
And play it horribly.
Yeah, it was terrible. And she fucking, if you watch to the end, she's literally written a song fully. It's not just ad lib. She goes back to a chorus constantly, and at the end, it's that stupid fucking trait for YouTube videos where they're apologizing, where you get up and turn off the camera. It's like the most fucking fake fucking piece of shit I've ever seen.
I'm gonna have to go back. Yeah, I'm not gonna watch it.
No.
No, don't. You'd rather kill
yeah,
yourself.
We'll save you the moment, but like, so it's not just the accusations, right? Which there are messages out there that show or screenshots that prove that she's had at the very least very highly inappropriate conversations with people, and there's a slew of different things.
She even says it in the song. Did I say weird things? Yeah, don't know why I did
Yeah.
that.
That's my point. Is that like she's apologizing yet she's not? It's the fucking weirdest thing. It's the weirdest thing.
It's not an apology. It's the opposite of an apology. She's like trying to get like pity, but actually admitting that she was wrong.
That's
I did it.
what I got out of that video. It's pity me, and I watched I watched a minute and a half of it. It's pity me. Yeah,
She doesn't know better. That was the other big theme I got from it was like she's like,
I'm not a groomer. I'm just a loser. That's one of the lines, man.
Yep, that was what. Yep, it sure was. Which basically means
I'm kind of retarded.
yeah.
Fucking get people.
Yeah, it
Unreal.
was terrible. And I mean, I've seen the YouTube apologies in the past. They've all been fucking terrible, cringy shit. This is one of the
It's up
fucking.
there.
It might be
that's
the
up there.
worst I've seen.
Yep. Yeah. Speaking of cringy, Dylan Mulvaney firing up against like what? Why? Why now? What now?
Because
The saga continues.
Why?
Dun, 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 dun. I want like a Star Wars text crawl for everything that happens with this guy's life.
What the fuck?
Dylan Mulvaney fought the Senate 400 years ago. Dun,
So
dun,
from
dun,
what
dun, dun, dun.
from what I understand, obviously the whole Bud Light thing we've talked about before in previous episodes.
Yep.
But apparently, like when all the backlash came by, Dylan was like, "Oh, the fact that Bud Light's not standing with their support, like what? What?
Yeah, he basically torpedoed the fucking company, and then is like, now they're trying to erase me. And
Good
then
luck.
lost.
Good luck getting future deals."
she came out and criticized them,
Yeah,
and then Bud Light responded
Because
to
they
her.
lost fucking tons of money because they decided, but it's their own fault. But you
It
know,
is.
It's just like
it's glorious, is what it is.
it's a meltdown of epic proportions.
What the fuck?
It's like we went with you, and you failed because we shouldn't have went with you.
And
So we're
not
gonna throw you
because
under the bus, and
But it-
That's a huge bitch.
the thing with this is
this is
this is all that LGBTQIA BCD.
it's slowly devouring itself.
remember when you were saying about the whole parody of the world?
This is what I'm saying. Like,
That's just-
if somebody
this
told
is-
me 5 years ago that Bud Light would have a trans woman as their spokesman that would fucking bankrupt them and then they'd sue her, I'd be
This
like,
is-
no way.
This is the kind of shit that you read about in like a Mad magazine or a Naked Gun movie. Like this is
You know what this is? This is a prime example of giving someone more power than they ever should have.
no kidding.
Dylan Mulvaney is a fucking clown. Should have never been given anything. I don't care if it's a man, woman, or a fucking ET.
Or whatever that creature was that you kicked off of Elder and fell off the cliff.
Dylan Mulvaney, is she
She's
is
like-
now one of those that they don't.
Honestly, she's like TikTok if it was a person.
Yes.
Yes, and she thinks she's bigger than anybody because of who she is.
Because of what's been given to her because of that check mark that needs
And
to
now
happen.
it's been taken away, but she feels justified in crying. It's just like affirmative action.
She is like super
She feels-
unstable. Look to me, I look at her and I'm like, oh, good Lord, fucking Christ, you need help medication wise. She reminds me of like Richard Simmons turned up to 12,000.
Big time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like she did that. She explained her whole situation. Like I made that video.
Wasn't she like a straight man that dresses like a woman?
Yep.
It's like I don't even know anymore. This is Clownville. I can't. It's so confusing and it makes no fucking sense.
Well, the last video that I seen him, her / whatever the fuck put on there.
This is
Yeah.
like where people are gonna be like, "We want respect," but you can't be a man or woman attracted to women. What?
She said apparently she was attracted to men, so she wanted to become a girl. But then all of a sudden she decided, you know what? Since I've become a transgender, I'm gonna be a lesbian. I like girls now.
So you're a straight man. You have a dick.
No, sorry. The bumps made me laugh harder than I thought.
You have a dick. All you do is you're a cross-dressing man that wants to fuck women.
Well, she
That's a
actually,
huge bitch.
I think she did the whole shebang. She's a woman now. She has the JJ.
I don't know about that.
This supposedly has been on estrogen therapy for over a year.
Emotional damage.
That's what she has. Because I will say this right now. I have gone through this, with the transition thing. When it's talking
went through
to
What?
listen, no,
We're listening.
guy that I worked with did a transition.
Oh, okay. That's not what you said, but okay.
That's where I was going with it. And what I'm
Okay.
saying is I've gone through this having to they need mental help, because what I was getting at is he's like, I had to go talk to a doctor about this to make
Yeah.
sure that's what I wanted to do. If you have to go talk to a doctor to make sure you want to do something, then you are one fucked up individual.
Thank you. Moving on.
I the guy I work with fixed my transmission.
Say it again.
He was your trans guy?
It's my trans guy.
I think the only other thing I have here on the docket is I saved it for last, considering we're probably going to be talking about him tomorrow as part of the Marvel Roundtable. But Jonathan Majors, the saga continues. Now I've lost track, but I know that he got accused
I've
of
heard
domestic.
so many things now.
I know it's hard for me to keep track of. So I remember that he was under some hot water because he had some allegations of domestic violence towards him. But now, like, the person who claimed it is also getting sued.
So I heard multiple things. One of the things I heard is that the allegations for his abuse go far back. Then I heard
that too.
Then I heard people saying, well, he comes off this way because of his acting style. He's not actually this type of person. And then I heard that he's suing the person that kind of brought up the charges against him. So God knows what's happening in this guy's life. All I know is he's pretty much fucked.
Who, Jonathan Majors is pretty much fucked?
Yeah. So
I
I've
think
heard.
so.
So originally he was charged and accused of domestic violence, but I've heard basically the same thing that Base mentioned about, like, he's, I think, suing the accuser. The accuser got arrested for another domestic violence related incident where she was with somebody else, and then they're like, somebody else was like listing off, apparently has like this like long ass history of the issue. But I mean, might need to be recasted.
So he's saying it didn't happen. He's suing her, and I'm just trying to get the story straight, because I know.
Yeah. Trust me, we are too.
So he's suing her for And I think it's his ex-wife, I'm assuming, correct?
Girlfriend.
Girlfriend, whatever.
Yeah.
Ex, fuck buddy, whatever the fuck.
But then she also got arrested under domestic violence charges in a separate incident away from him.
Right. So how does that fuck him? That's what I'm.
Well, it's just it's a mess. That's why I'm like, oh, I thought it was like things are going in the right direction. But then on top of then those two things happened. Then on top of that, somebody else came out and said that like, oh, he has a long history of this, and to what Basement was saying was that it's because he's the way he acts, that he puts on such a facade for people that you wouldn't be able to tell that he's this type of individual. He's if this is any of this shit's remotely true, he is fucked.
Okay. So, don't care.
Mhm.
All right. On that note, I think that does it for this week's episode. Then.
Somebody accuse him, have him arrested,
Mhm.
have him go to trial.
I think his trial's in August.
Okay. Well, until then, you know what? It's he said, she said. I hate to say that. That sounds horrible. Because off camera, I could, we could get into a fight. And until it's proven, only the two people who know what happened in that situation is them.
Yeah, I think the court hearing is probably going to be the big deciding factor. Right now, I know as far as like his role in Marvel, obviously we're going to talk about Ant-Man and Quantumania tomorrow.
I think he's fucked either way in this case because how it goes with
well,
Opinion.
court of public opinion. Once you're been accused of something, you're guilty of it.
well, that I was about to bring that up was the whole Justin Roiland situation, right? So here he goes, and he was let go of everything. Well, I know he stepped away from one project, but he was essentially let go of everything, and then turns out wasn't the case. So I mean, for us because we cover Marvel stuff. I'm sure we'll talk at nauseum about it for both here and I think so. As far as I know, right now, obviously he's in Ant-Man 3. That's already done. He's also in Loki season 2, which is coming out I think later on this year. But after that, it's up in the air as far as what's going to happen to him. So I'm sure once we get closer to that, we'll get more confirmation details and stuff like that, and we'll probably talk more about it when we do the Marvel Roundtable tomorrow.
So the reason I said he's fucked is the longer his name stays in tabloids, the worse it is for him, regardless of what the tabloids are.
That's what I'm getting at. I that's where I was trying to get to. I think no matter what happens, this guy is.
Yeah, it's just been too long, and now they're talking about allegations back from 12, 15 years ago or something. So it seems like a never-ending spiral of badness.
Yep.
Listen, I hate this because I've been through abuse, and I was one of those that didn't, and I'm talking about my dad. I didn't say anything. Mom figured it out. Right? I didn't say anything. And I learned my lesson because Mom was going to figure it out either way. I don't know why, and this is why I say this. I don't know, by my experience, I don't know why people don't say something when something happens. Because it does nothing more than hurt you even more down the road.
Well, I think more often than not, people
I get why people don't. If somebody's beating you up, say something.
I do feel like sometimes the actual thing that's happening isn't what they would consider abuse until someone else says something, and then they're like, yeah, that time where he pushed me kind of scarred me for life. It's the bandwagon fucking jumpers that definitely exist. I don't care what anyone says.
I'm saying that if he should be punished, whatever they do with him. Hollywood will cancel him if he did do this. But the point is let's wait until we actually know. And can we not, as a society, and I know I'm only one person here speaking to a small fraction of the world here, can we not accuse people of shit and then when they're found not guilty, say they did it anyway? They just got away with it.
Well, I feel like that's the biggest problem with that is the fact that it happens in the celebrity world because they are their reputation. They aren't individuals anymore. And I mean, they're like every single person, people will pass judgment on immediately, and it doesn't matter after that. Like I think Kevin Spacey got off and didn't get in trouble, but I'm pretty sure 90% of people think he fucks kids.
Yes, they do.
I yes, but if he, it's
So
hard.
the system of law nobody trusts because the government is completely corrupt. So
Right.
this is what happens when that happens.
But if it happens the other way, the government isn't politically corrupt.
Well, it's
But how do we
you
know?
pick and choose what you like. Same thing happens with fucking politics. It's everywhere. They're like, oh, I like this candidate because they show well. They might be fucking 8 kids in the backseat of their car after they're done. But if they have
They
a good personality,
Hiding immigrants in their fucking trunk to escape. You never fucking know.
this is the
Well, I
whole thing
walked
that
back
happened
at the
with
right
Biden.
time.
This is the whole thing that happened with Biden and Trump. You know, if you present even better than someone that's actively trying to fucking destroy themselves, and the media is actively trying to destroy them, double whammy.
Right.
Yep.
I've never seen this guy act. I am going to watch Ant-Man 3 tomorrow with Heather.
He's
I
a
think it-
pretty good actor. It's just
Should we
Never
Should we-
seen him act in it. What?
should we watch it, live stream it, under the influence?
Well, we got to do the fucking thing tomorrow, right?
Yeah, what I'm saying is instead of an act,
React.
Well,
yeah, like kind of like Doctor Strange.
thing for tomorrow night. What?
Yes, that's what he's suggesting we do.
We can. That's what you want to fucking do. I'll review the shit out of something on edibles. I don't give a shit.
What do you think, Baseman?
However you want to do it, man. I'm up for anything.
I'll
I
do
say
it.
let's pull Doctor Strange.
Okay, well, let's do it tomorrow night. We will
Alright.
watch Ant-Man 3 on vodka and Sunny D.
Bitchin'. All right, I think that covers everything. Unless there's anything else you guys want to throw out there.
There's other things.
I put one in there last minute of 3 bombs being set off in DC.
Well, the fourth one was right in the White House.
One at a bank, one at a clothing store.
The fuck?
I forget where the third one was.
Cocaine.
But they all happened within 15 minutes of each other.
Again, we're back to Washington, D.C. See what I mean?
Full fuck. What?
Our nation's capital.
Yeah, no, I understand that, but like, see what you mean? Like, what was your?
See what he means?
Yeah.
Well, earlier we were talking about Washington, D.C. How fucking Independence Day it is. I mean, come on, man. Look, I cannot. Why are you doing this to me?
I love in like audio format. That is completely fucking mental.
I love my country. I defended
Oh, man.
this motherfucker. All right? Why are we being ignorant motherfuckers in our nation's capital? That should be the epitome of what our country is our nation's capital. because
Cocaine and explosions. That's pretty fucking close.
Why can't we just get the fuck along? I am so fucking
Independence
sick
Day.
of this shit. Oh my god, 3 bombs in Washington, D.C. They went off. That was today?
4:30 this morning.
Fucking cocaine. Cocaine bear up in fucking D.C., man. I'm telling you. This is why. And I'm fucking Jim Cornetting this shit.
I am so invested in what you're saying right now. You have my undivided attention. Go ahead.
And there are certain things with Jim Cornette that I agree with.
Uh huh.
politics is not fucking one of them.
Okay.
This guy thinks that we should be run by a fucking 87-year-old man who can't even wipe his own ass.
Well, you guys are.
Allegedly.
But he thinks it's a good idea. I don't think it's a good idea.
How did we get to this part
Didn't
of the conversation?
he watch other people fuck his wife?
Yep.
So
Yeah, I'm sure that happened too.
there's
That's
that.
not true. That's not true. But he is just.
What?
How do you know?
I mean, he may have, but I don't think it. I'm saying I don't think it's true. I don't think that happened.
You just like flip flopped your opinion so quick on that one.
He's talking about fucking Jim Cornette's wife and whether or not she fucks other guys. I don't think that's true.
No, but you're like, no, it may have happened. I don't think it happened. It might have, but it may. I don't think it did. Anyway, 86-year-old wiping his own ass. 47.
I defended this country, and I can tell you, you vote how you want to vote, but just remember what you're voting for. Don't just vote for somebody because he doesn't mean tweet.
But that's what majority of people vote for.
See, back to DC, just like we like. See what I mean?
My point. That's what I'm trying to get through to people. Stop voting for somebody who doesn't mean tweet. Just because somebody mean tweets doesn't somebody.
Hold on.
Doesn't somebody?
Says something mean about somebody doesn't
Hold
make
on.
fucking Hitler.
We went from
It's an everyday fucking normal human being. Fucking, I say shit about my fucking neighbors all the fucking time.
DC, and were these bomb threats?
No, they were actual explosions that happened.
Okay, actual explosions.
Yeah.
And then I don't know where JP took the wheel on that conversation and just ran over everybody.
Cornette.
Well, people defend this shit. My point is, people defend this fucking clown. People defend this guy
Off
to
of
the hilt. I
bomb
only
thing?
defend him because I kind of fucking have to.
So what were he did? So Joe Biden ran into these buildings, exploded them, and ran out.
Joe
No,
Biden.
Joe Biden running anywhere.
I'm not saying these are the people, but you look at the major cities
Uh-huh.
and how fucking we all need to be nice to each other. The Democrats are the let's be nice to each other party, right? Let's all get along.
Uh-huh.
But yet, in our cities, we're gonna fucking allow people to walk around with bombs and fucking. But do you see where I'm going with this?
No.
It's not okay. It's not okay to fucking own an AR-15. But let's walk around with bombs and fucking bomb the shit out of the fucking city.
Okay, first off, I don't even know anything about this whole story. Do we know that these are all like related?
And
Hey,
like, what kind of bombs are you talking about here?
It was 3 separate locations, then they all went off 15 minutes apart from each other, and it seems like it was a coordinated event between a group of people.
Okay.
How big were these bombs?
They only damaged windows.
Yeah, they didn't harm people. Still, people
See, Biden's not breaking down windows and all.
Well, he is
Windows
breaking down windows.
Hey, look, I'm not saying Biden. I'm saying the people that fucking vote for him in these big cities that everybody fucking says they're mostly liberal cities,
Yeah.
sanctuary cities.
Yep.
That's what I'm getting at.
Okay.
So blow them up?
No, no, they're doing that themselves.
I don't know what you're saying. I understand what he's saying. Just fuck with him.
All right. I don't think I have any way to top that one, so we get to wrap up this week's edition of Fucks Given.
Goddamn motherfucking people, grow up. Just grow up, people. It's okay
Grow down.
to not like something, all right? I'm sorry, I'm still going here.
Yeah.
It's okay to not like something. But keep it to your fucking self if it's gonna fucking cause somebody to fucking fly off the handle and want to fucking shoot you in the face.
Daddy, chill.
Shut the fuck up.
Yeah, just blast about it on Twitter. Anyway, thank you all for tuning in to another wonderful edition of No Bucks Given. Unless there's anything else anybody wanted to throw out there.
Nope, just it and fucking Twitter. God.
All right, bitchin'.
Change their fucking policy on fucking how many times you can fucking tweet and
Fucking.
all this shit. That was never said. We didn't talk about that.
It doesn't really impact my life in any way.
No.
Yeah.
No, it doesn't mind. Actually, I can say I don't know if it's true yet because I have actually viewed.
I felt like he was
600.
just like he said temporary, and then he was raising it over time. I don't really give a shit. They're trying to get people to buy Twitter, like Twitter
Yeah.
Blue. That's the whole. They're trying to market fucking something that was not really that very marketable.
I don't. Not many people are going to look at 600 tweets. It doesn't matter. It's
I mean,
okay.
the only thing they're doing is hurting themselves for advertising purposes. If they're going to limit what you see after a certain amount of time, they're not going to force it. I'll just be like, okay, I guess I'm closing the app. Like that's it.
But anyway,
Anyways.
want to thank JP, Heather, Baseman, for as always, and all you awesome, wonderful, cool cats and kittens in the chat joining us live. Thanks to Aru, I did see he clipped that. He clipped something from earlier.
It was
You'll
definitely
see.
something JP said.
Oh, it was something JP said. We'll watch it later on.
I said a lot. I'm sorry. I talk a lot. I'm so sick of people just being dumb. I don't get it.
You're in the right group then.
Can we all
Jo- Join us tomorrow as we're going to do the return of the Marvel Roundtable with a little bit of a twist, as we're going to be watching it completely stone cold sober. Wink, wink, wink.
I wish it was called Quantum Maniacs.
Stone Cold
And it had the
Sober, just
Animaniacs in it.
Oh, that'd be fucking great. It's time for Quantum Maniacs.
appreciate you guys. I'm sorry if I offended anybody. I apologize. But
You offended me.
We're way beyond that. But I'm just I'm teasing. Yeah, so we'll see you guys tomorrow for some Marvel Roundtable. Like, comment, share, subscribe, all that fun jazz. Make sure you listen to us on your favorite audio platform. And until then, we'll see you guys next time. So peace out.
We'll wake up tomorrow
Au revoir.
I don't think JP will.
with our day, and then we'll complain about the